Measure passes. File item 244. That's AB 587. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 587 by Assemblymember Chow, enacting into mobile homes.
Mr. Chow, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 587 would promote accurate titling of mobile homes by creating a temporary tax abatement program for mobile home owners who cannot transfer title into their own names due to delinquencies that may have been incurred by prior owners. Mobile homes are regularly sold on a somewhat informal basis. They are titled through the Department of Housing and Community Development. In order to issue a new certificate of title, HCD must confirm that there are no outstanding fees or taxes owing on the home. If there are and the new owner is unable to pay, title cannot transfer. Oftentimes, a buyer may be unaware of this requirement and, as a result, is in a situation where they pay for their home but have no meaningful proof of ownership. Without proper title, the homeowner cannot transfer title to the home, get repairs, or even may get evicted from their home. I respectfully ask for your vote.
Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tally the vote. Ayes 67, no 0. Measure passes. File item 245. That's AB 648. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 648 by Assemblymember Lowe, enacting into oral health, making appropriation therefore.
Mr. Lowe, you may open.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and members. Assembly Bill 648 establishes a grant program for the virtual dental homes. This bill will establish an opportunity to provide dental services to those most in need in the state of California. I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 71, no 0. Measure passes.
Colleagues, let's call up file item 246, AB 664. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 664 by Assemblymember Dodd and others, enacting into Medi-Cal.
Assemblymember Dodd, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, AB 664 would require a formal evaluation of the Universal Assessment Tool pilot program. In 2002, the legislature recognized that several eligibility determination and assessment processes for home and community-based services created several forms of inefficiency in the administration of these programs. The Universal Assessment Tool was identified as an alternative to the current assessment system. AB 664 would require honor before January 1st, 2017, for the administration in consultation with the stakeholder work group to evaluate and report to the legislature the outcomes of and the lessons learned from the Universal Assessment Tool pilot program. This bill does not have any opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. Yeah.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 71, no 0. The measure passes. File items 247 and 248 will pass and retain. File item 249, AB 702, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 702 by Assemblymember Mainshine and others, enacting into public social services.
Assemblymember Mainshine, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The number of children facing homelessness in America is at an all-time high. Current law provides temporary housing assistance to homeless families receiving aid through the Cal Works program. This benefit provides for up to 16 consecutive nights in a hotel, motel, or commercial establishment. But because this caps at 16 consecutive days, a break in assistance inadvertently punishes families who vacate their temporary lodgings for just one day. By removing the requirement that the 16 days be consecutive, AB 702 will eliminate the disincentive to refuse or interrupt temporary housing assistance. AB 702 strengthens the ability of the CalWorks Temporary Housing Assistance Program, and I respectfully request your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 72, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 250, AB 706. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 706 by Assemblymember Bonilla, an act relating to California AmeriCorps STEM.
Assemblymember Bonilla, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, I present to you AB 706, which creates a California-only STEM AmeriCorps program. It gives authority to California volunteers to establish and administer this program, and also allows nonprofits to apply to host STEM AmeriCorps volunteers in classrooms and in their workplaces. It will leverage public service and private investment to draw upon innovative national programs to craft new and unique programs to fill the intensifying need for more STEM in our California classrooms. I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 72, no 0. The measure passes. File item 251, AB 736. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 736 by Assemblymember Cooley, an act relating to state teachers' retirement.
Mr. Cooley, you're recognized.
Colleagues, I'm pleased to present AB 736 to you. This bill relates to the California State Teachers Retirement System. Pension systems are very unique organizations. They have to operate over a 4-decade time horizon. They are very complex financial enterprises. This bill is non-controversial to strengthen the capacity of the state teachers retirement system to attract and retain outstanding chief financial officers and chief operating officers. I request your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 73, no 0. The measure passes. File item 252 will pass and retain. File item 253, AB 751. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 751 by Assemblymember Cooper, an act relating to pest control, making appropriation therefore.
Mr. Cooper, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, AB 751 extends the sunset date for the California Department of Food and Agriculture's Vertebrate Pest Control Research Program to January 1st, 2026. The program focuses on finding safer alternative methods to control pests. This bill has received no opposition and has bipartisan support. I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 73, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 254, AB 770. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 770 by Assemblymember Irwin, an act relating to community colleges.
Assemblymember Irwin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 770 addresses an issue faced by more than 70% of community college students who are deemed unprepared for college-level work and are in need of remediation. These students must take multiple classes before they are able to take credit-bearing classes. Data shows that more semesters of required remediation, the less likely these students are to ever complete college-level courses. Current basic skills offerings are failing our students and discouraging them from pursuit of their goals. In California, innovative pilot efforts to redesign basic skills courses have been very successful. Students' completion rates double in English and quadruple in math compared to traditional remediation. However, less than a third of community colleges offer such new approaches, and if they do, they are limited to 1 or 2 course sections. AB 770 targets this lack of access by providing a financial incentive to community college districts to redesign their basic skills offerings. This bill has enjoyed unanimous bipartisan support.
Mr. Alejo, you're recognized.
Okay. Question for the author.
Without objection.
Well, since my colleague worked as an engineer on the Trident ballistic missile project, is this a missile of a bill that will fly in the Senate or will it sputter out?
It is going to fly in the Senate.
Well, my colleague, since this bill will have an explosion on the Senate, I respectfully ask that we recognize this bill as in the urban lingo, as the bomb of a bill. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Irwin, you may close.
All right, thank you, and I ask for your aye vote.
The clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Aye 72, no 0. The measure passes. File item 255, AB 795. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 795 by Assemblymember Lowe, an act relating to employment.
Mr. Lowe, you may open.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Members, Assembly Bill 795 will require the Department of Industrial Relations to submit a report to the legislature of the amount of time it takes for wage claims to receive a preliminary hearing. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Ayes 70, noes 1. The measure passes. File item 256, AB 833. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 833 by Assemblymember Bonta, an act relating to child care and development services.
Assemblymember Bonta, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 833 is a district bill that authorizes Alameda County to develop and implement a 5-year child care subsidy pilot plan to meet the local needs of children and families. The bill is modeled after the successful pilots in San Mateo and San Francisco counties and passed out of committee with unanimous support. It has no known opposition. Members, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 71, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 257, AB 857. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 857 by Assemblymember Perea and others, an act relating to greenhouse gases.
Mr. Perea, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, AB 857 ensures the state is prioritizing deployment of cleaner engine technology in the heavy-duty truck market that will help reduce air pollution and GHG emissions while at the same time accelerating the retirement of older, high-polluting trucks. This bill has a support recommendation and has received 0 no votes. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 70, noes 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 258, AB 895. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 895 by Assemblymember Rendon, an act relating to utility rates.
Assemblymember Rendon, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 895 ensures legislative oversight over ratepayer refunds resulting from the 2002 energy crisis by requiring all proceeds collected from energy crisis litigation to be deposited into the ratepayer relief fund. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Ayes 70, noes 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 259, AB 901. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 901 by Assemblymember Gordon and others, an act relating to solid waste.
Mr. Gordon, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. California set a goal of achieving a recycling rate of 75% by 2020. Many actions will be needed to achieve that goal, but most importantly, it will be necessary to have accurate and timely data on waste disposal and recycling. Currently, data is sent to counties from disposal facilities, and then the counties forward that information to CalRecycle. AB 901 would simplify this process by requiring waste disposal facilities to report directly to CalRecycle. AB 901 would also strengthen CalRecycle's fraud enforcement authority, and this authority is needed because, according to CalRecycle, 2/3 of the reports are often late, incomplete, or inaccurate. Furthermore, inaccurate reporting can defraud local jurisdictions and the state out of millions of dollars of revenue. Finally, AB 901 also streamlines CalRecycle's authority for requiring recycling facilities to submit information on the final disposition of material. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Ayes 70, noes 1. The measure passes. Moving to file item 260, AB 907. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 907 by Assemblymember Burke, an act relating to career technical education, declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Assemblymember Burke, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, Assembly Bill 907 allows Title IV financial aid to continue to flow into the state of California for jobs and career training programs. Recent changes at the federal level require a state agency that has oversight over entities providing the training to certify each provider in order for the adult students to be eligible for federal financial aid. Unfortunately, in California, no state agency has the statutory authority to provide federally required certification. AB 907 authorizes the Superintendent of Public Instruction to provide the needed certification. This bill will prevent the loss of federal financial aid to thousands of adult students in California. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 70, noes 0 on the urgency. Ayes 70, noes 0 on the bill. The measure passes. File item 261, we will pass and retain. File item 262, AB 940, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 940 by Assemblymember Ridley Thomas and others enacting relating to healing arts.
Mr. Ridley Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I rise to present AB 940. This bill would allow a bioanalyst with a master's degree to serve as an additional laboratory director in a laboratory performing high complexity testing, and will allow an applicant for a bioanalyst license to obtain the required 4 years of experience in and out of the state at a CLIA approved laboratory. This is a bipartisan bill, and we respectfully request your aye vote.
Ms. Waldron, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise as a joint author of AB 940. California currently has a rising shortage of licensed clinical laboratory personnel in California. I urge an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll. Ayes 67, no 0. The measure passes. File item 263, AB 965. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 965 by Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia enacting relating to water resources.
Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and members, Assembly Bill 965 is a district bill. This bill would require the California-Mexico Border Relations Council to establish an efficient and effective mechanism to protect, restore, and enhance polluted cross-border urban creeks and watersheds. This bill will have a positive impact on cleaning up one of the nation's most polluted rivers, the New River, that is located in Imperial County. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Mr. Alejo, you are recognized.
Thank you, members. I rise in support. Earlier this year, the Assembly ESTM Committee held its first ever series of hearings on the Southern California border, on the state's role in managing binational river water quality efforts on the California-Mexico border. One hearing was in Calexico, where we heard testimony from dozens of community members, local elected officials, and members of binational bodies, all urging the legislature to take action to coordinate resources and funding for the improvement of the most polluted river in the country, the New River, which flows right through Calexico. My colleague from Coachella joined us for that committee and has drafted this bill in direct answer to the concerns we heard from his constituents. I support this important step in cleaning up our border rivers and communities and urge an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Garcia, you may close. We'll take that as your close. The clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 67, no 0. The measure passes. File items 264 and 265, we will pass and retain. File item 266, AB 1013. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1013 by Assemblymember Quirk enacting relating to energy.
Assemblymember Quirk, you may be
Thank you,
recognized.
Speaker and members. Assembly Bill 1013 would require the California Energy Commission to routinely adjust and update its public domain software that models energy usage. AB 1013 has no opposition, has received no votes. I respectfully request your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 65, no 0. The measure passes. Moving to file item 267, AB 1032, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1032 by Assemblymember Salas enacting relating to taxation.
Assemblymember Salas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, Assembly Bill 1032 removes a double tax on biodiesel fuel. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Aye 67, noes 0. Measure passes. File item 268. We will pass and retain. File item 269, AB 1062. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1062 by Assemblymember Bonta, enacting into environmental justice.
Mr. Bonta, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1062 will help provide our most vulnerable communities with the tools they need to fight against environmental health hazards in their communities. AB 1062 will ensure environmental justice small grants funds are consistently and reliably funded. They will require the Secretary for Environmental Protection to fund the EJ Small Grant Program by no less than $5 million per year. There is no known opposition to this bill. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Aye 61, noes 1. The measure passes. File item 270 we've already dispensed with. File item 271, AB 1114. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1114 by Assemblymember Bonilla, enacting into public health.
Assemblymember Bonilla, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I present to you 1114, which clarifies that all forms, letters, and notices from health insurance affordability programs such as Covered California and Medi-Cal must follow state and federal laws ensuring language access. Currently, they have translated application forms into the required languages, but they have not translated renewal forms and other notices into any languages besides Spanish. Language is a substantial barrier to health care access and coverage. 40% of Medi-Cal speak language other than English, with 500 of those speaking a language other than English or Spanish. 1114 will ensure that all those who have limited proficiency in English will not only be able to receive the initial application, but also receive renewal forms that they can understand and other important updates and notices. I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Aye 64, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain file item 272. We are going to take up file item 273, AB 1145. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1145 by Assemblymember Medina, enacting into pupils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 1145 requires the Department of Education to provide a report to the Legislative Analyst's Office on the Early Commitment to College program. This voluntary program was established in 2008 and allows the Superintendent of Public Instruction to identify schools with the highest proportion of low-income pupils as college opportunity zones and provide college information for students. Due to a lack of funding, the program has not been effectively implemented. Requiring a report on this program will ensure that this program is being examined and that recommendations to ensure its effective implementation are sought out. This bill has enjoyed unanimous bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Aye 64, no 0. The measure passes. Moving now to file item 274, AB 1161. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1161 by Assemblymember Olson and others, enacting into preschool funding.
Assemblymember Olson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 1161, which I have jointly authored with our Assembly Speaker, presents a creative private sector solution to expanding early education opportunities. Specifically, it creates a 5-year pilot program in which businesses would be given a tax credit for investing into a newly created California Preschool Investment Fund. The program is fully self-supporting and has no impact on Prop 98 or other programs because they're required to fully reimburse the general fund for the cost of all tax credits as well as administrative fees. According to the First Five Association of California, there are over 200,000 California children awaiting preschool slots in our state. AB 1161 enjoys wide bipartisan support. I respectfully request an aye vote so that more families seeking to take advantage of these great preschool opportunities will be able to access them in their own counties.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 61, no 0. Measure passes.